that brings us to on-demand.
Okay.
Right? And, after the webinar takes place, hopefully, if you're using the right technology, you've got this on-demand recording.
Yeah.
You want to leverage that.
Yeah.
How can you go about promoting it properly? And we're going to do 90 seconds for this one.
90 seconds for this one as well? Okay, so right technology or not, you got to be recording your webinars. They're a tremendous asset that can serve you for years, if not, or longer as a resource. But what we find is promoting and what's appropriate for promoting the on-demand webinar is that most of the people who will come to your on-demand webinar initially are folks that registered but couldn't make it. Okay, so 45% of most on-demand viewers are those who wanted to be there at the start, but they missed the webinar because business came up or something like that. So we recommend that as quickly as possible, you get that recording up and you get a sorry we missed you email out to them so they can go and they can view it. And then you can collect yourself and take some time. And in taking that time, what you're able to do is now start promoting the event to all of those people who didn't register the first time. Hey, we had this awesome event yesterday, click here, now you can view it on demand. So that's what I would suggest is appropriate or the right way to promote the life cycle of an event. All the before stuff, hold the event and have those two communications afterwards. But I had mentioned before about the value of the hub and promoting it within your existing content. Our customers who are aggregating their webinar content and enabling, as you had already referenced, the binge watching effect like a Netflix has, those customers are seeing up to 45% of their total growth in audience in on-demand.
Wow.
So it's really important if you're going to leverage the on-demand content, which you should, I recommend that you do because it's all about eyes, is that you find a way of making it really easy for them to find on your website and aggregate it together.
So we're an example of an organization who has had over 1,000 live viewers to an event. Yeah. It just happened recently, and we were really pumped about it. I didn't check this morning, but I can probably safely say that we haven't had, that 1,000 plus on-demand viewers yet.
Yeah.
What am I doing wrong?
Well, you're not doing anything wrong. I mean, on average, people don't get that. Okay. They don't get as many viewers on demand as they get live. They actually get about 40% of that number, even when they do all of these things right. But interestingly, that top 9%, the customers that do get 1,000 viewers live, like you did on a few of your events, will generally get more than that in the course of 12 months on demand. So when we saw that stat, it really stuck out to us. Like, why, if I get 100 on my live event, why don't I get 100 on my on-demand if they are? Right. And so we started looking into it and talking to these customers. And the first thing we found out is, you know what, these are real big brands a lot of the time. People have been doing webinars for a decade, so they're a known source for content. They're going to go back and they're going to view. The same reason a show on NBC is going to get 6 million views the night it opens, regardless of how good or bad it is versus something that's released on the internet. It's a known entity, it's quantifiable, and they are doing a lot of webinars generally. Okay. So they got that built-in audience. But beyond that, what we found is that all of them are aggregating content. All of them are putting content on hubs and putting it out there so that people can easily find it. So we should be doing the same. Yeah. And the last thing is that they're using the content really intelligently. So what they're doing is they're looking at a webinar as a start point sometimes, or in many cases, a start point for a content strategy. So the webinar happens, and then they extract from the webinar short clips from the webinar to go into social media. Now, if someone goes and they see and they watch a 90-second clip or something like that, they get excited about it, they can link to the webinar from the social media, register, and then view the on-demand. Huh. Some people are taking them and handing them out to freelance writers to write blog posts based on the webinar, where they'll get 2 to 3 different blog posts out of the content that was discussed on a webinar or a desk like this. So now they got the same content out there, bite-sized portions, all leading back to the mothership, which is this 45-minute webinar with a gate so that people will register and will come in and view. And in seeing that, we started to look at our platform and our processes and say, if it's working for the big guys, it's got to work for everybody else as well. Sure. So let's start, promoting it to people as a best practice even.
Well, all of the webinars from last year's season are uploaded to the Content Hub on demandmetric.com.
Yeah.